Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair. I'm your host, Larry the Chupacabra, and we're back for more Evolved Big Alpha. This time we're taking a look at the Tier 2 support of Bucket. Bucket, well, it's a weird name, but wouldn't you guess it? He's a robot, and not just any robot. He's a gunslinging robot that likes to shoot missiles, plant defensive turrets that look like crazy cartoon Cyclopses, and even rip his own head off to use as a UAV to track down the monster and help his team out in reconnaissance. Kind of an interesting package, and he still has the same sort of AoE cloaking device that his predecessor, Hank, had. So, Bucket's main goal is he wants to sort of provide support by kind of offering some defensive positions for his team to run to in case they're getting their faces pounded in by the monster. Now, these turrets don't necessarily do a lot of damage on their own, but you get 2 or 3, or the maximum I think was 5 altogether, and you chase the monster through them, and they will rip him a new one. So what I did right now is I sort of placed them in a strategic kind of escape route down back into the pool area of this grotto, with hopes that if somebody was getting touched, they'd be able to run back down there and he'd get torn apart. Unfortunately, we almost lose both Mozzie and Scrape and Lick to him before he eventually does run back into them, and I and the assault start just tearing into him. And then once the dome goes down, he just decides to cut his losses and cut and run rather than try to take down the rest of us. Probably a good plan. Between Bucket and Markov, you can really burn down the monster. And Bucket is almost a hidden third assault class. He just does so much sustained damage to the monster. So we end up chasing Mr. Killer Poe around for a while until he reaches stage 2 and pisses off a few birds. And lucky for me, I remembered that a lot of people like to cocoon on top of these rooftops. A lot of people think that you're gonna cocoon off to the edges of the map to do your evolution, but that's a good way to fool some people, is to change it up, find a nice cozy rooftop to do your thing. Unfortunately, I got a little carried away, and he managed to take me down before my team could arrive. Good news, Mozzie's got my back, bring me back to life, and I can jump back up onto this roof where he's engaged with Markov and Scrape and Lick and start laying into him. Now, if you remember, those little blue spots on his armor are where Mordred has managed to hit him with some armor-piercing rounds and break into his skin so that you can do some extra damage. Now, unfortunately for me, I threw all of my turrets down onto the roof, and the monster remembered from our first engagement that they kind of, they don't tickle. They're more of a sharp pain in the chest. So he'll try jumping up to kind of get at us one more time before remembering that all of those turrets are still up here, and then he's gonna try and take down Markov, being played by our pal Emo Anubis. That's, it's not gonna turn out super well, so he's gonna try and jump around between him and Mozzie Kazi, I think the name was. Really, you just want to try and take out any squishy character that you can, including the assault once his shield goes down. So, only thing I can really do is just throw down some defensive turrets where they've been downed and try to invis up and resurrect them. It's not going to end up working out for us, and I think we lost Mordred there. But, good news, the dome goes down and he doesn't really want to try for finishing the rest of the team because he's almost dead. And when you break out of an Evolve Chrysalis, you don't have any armor left, so there wasn't a lot of room for error for him. So he's just going to take off and try to recover some of his health and some of his armor. Oh, and good news, he also tends to tick off birds as he runs away, so we can find those too. We run back into our monster in none other than the grotto again, next to that big old scary cave hole. And I can do my fancy dive bomb thing. That's one of the most fun things I've done with Bucket, is you fly directly over the monster, do like an orbital bombardment to him with all of your clip of missiles, and then try to just duck out of the side or behind a tree somewhere so he doesn't tear you in half. Because it's fun to do, but it can get you into a bit of trouble. Now, unfortunately for us, Mozzie wasn't really on top of the whole dome thing down here. He put it down for half a second when the monster started going up the waterfall, and then had to put it down almost immediately. So it's on a little bit of a cooldown, so we're going to have to end up chasing Killer Poe for just a little while longer as he makes a break through the dam and the power generation station. So he's kind of hurting at this point. He doesn't have a lot of health, and I'm just rip-roaring to throw down some of my Cyclops buddies and shoot him up like a pincushion. Now, Mozzie had been previously playing the Lazarus medic that he unlocked, and Lazarus is kind of interesting. Normally with Val, if somebody's dead, you gotta try and resurrect them before they go completely dead, or else you're gonna have to wait till they respawn. Lazarus, on the other hand, he doesn't really heal people. In fact, he doesn't really care at all. He just as soon use his strange Lazarus device that's oddly phallic-shaped and bring you back from the dead. And the only way to avoid that as a monster is to eat the dead bodies of the hunters. So that, you know, if he does bring you back, you know, you're missing like a lung and part of your spleen. And so I eventually run into Mr. Killer Poe again up here next to this little power substation when all of my buddies come up behind me in order to chase him down and murder him. And I think we get him in the dome, and that's pretty much it for him if he's in here. Because he's got no armor, he's got no health, he's only in stage 2 still, and we are all fully up, and we've got all of our abilities. We're just going to bombard him here at the end, and Mr. Killer Poe goes down after giving a valiant fight. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little quick sneak peek of Bucket for the Evolve Big Alpha. It's a lot of fun, although I'm still of the opinion that a lot of the Tier 2 characters were a bit overpowered during this playtest. So we'll have to see. They just announced the next set of hunters. We've got Tier 3 hunters that just got revealed, including an assault with a bazooka, and a grenade launcher healer, and a crazy support. Another one of every class, including one that basically looks like Chuck Norris for the hunter. So until next time, I've been Larry the Chupacabra. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you want to get some more footage of any of these characters. And we got a whole bunch more coming. So until next time, have a good one, everybody.